Hi everyone, it's Shell from Scrap Secrets and welcome back to my channel. Today's day 14 in the 2025 Countdown to Christmas series with Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations. Our technique for today was to use 3D embossing folders, and I'm going to show you a couple of the ones that I have for Christmas. And we're going to be doing a couple different techniques. Now, I watched a bunch of videos and I thought that I would try out some of the techniques, and I don't know. This is late and I'll talk to you about that in a minute, but yesterday was just not a crafting day for me. I don't know what it was. Nothing was coming out right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this tree embossing folder, and I thought I would run some embossing ink, which this is not Versamark, but it's the same type of thing, over some of the sections. And then I have this embossing powder that is supposed to puff up and be shiny or sparkly. I don't think that it did. I'm kind of disappointed in this. I've used it a couple times and I have not seen any puffiness from it. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but let me know in the comments if you guys have this and it works for you. So I'm going to just put it over my background. Now, I did not use an anti-static powder bag before I did this. I probably should have, because I think some of it got into places it shouldn't. I started my heat gun off to the side just to get it warmed up, and then I'm going to go over the entire section. And I don't know, you really couldn't see the trees in this. It kind of just looked like blobs. I definitely did not love this. So once I was done with that, I kind of put it to the side and started with the next embossing folder. So that one is the snowflake one, and these are both from Honeybee Stamps. They are, I believe they're both from Honeybee Stamps. So that's that background. And then we're going to get to work on the snowflake one. So I'm going to run my Versamark ink all over the one side of it. And then I'm going to put this shiny blue paper in that has a white core. I'm going to put it in the embossing folder and run it through my machine. I did use my old Cuttlebug because I feel like that works better with the embossing folders than the Sizzix one that I have. So I'm going to use this Wow embossing powder to go over the whole entire thing. And there looks like there's one section that did not get the Versamark. And I also feel like there wasn't enough non-embossed areas. Like, again, I probably should have used an anti-static powder tool on top of this, and maybe that's what my issue is. I don't know, but I loved the way the background looked, and when it was heated up, it was really pretty because you could see some of that blue behind it. But then there was this section that was completely blank, and I know I could put more embossing ink on it and then put embossing powder over it and do it over again, but let me tell you, I just was like, I can't, nothing is working. I don't know. It just was, like I said, it was just not a good crafting day. So then we are going to move on to trying the other side of this green panel, and I'm going to do the same thing, but not put it in the embossing folder. I'm going to put the ink right onto the page, and then I'm going to use the same exact thing, and I'm going to heat it up, and you're going to see it doesn't look any better. I'm also going to try using some Distress Oxides to add a little bit of shading to it. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. So I'm going to tell you guys why this video is so late while you're watching me do this, and I apologize. I have been working nonstop for, I'm going to say, probably 2.5, 3 weeks. I have only really stopped to eat, to go out and get food because I have none in the house. And then last weekend was the girls' snow case. So it was kind of like a showcase. It wasn't an actual competition. So really that's the only things that I've done outside of work and sleep and school. And everything was due for our 2026 planning was due on Sunday. So I worked all day Saturday, all day Sunday. I actually was on Instant Messenger or the Teams Messenger until like 11:30 Friday night with some of the people that were working on some of our planning stuff. I was the one that was responsible for training people. So it just was a little overwhelming. and I just did not have time to do this. I did this last night, and then I just had zero brain power to do the voiceover, so this is going to be late. My video for today, I know Marie posted hers for 2 o'clock, and I know this one is even going to be late for that post. That one I will get up either tonight or tomorrow. I have not done the video yet, but I have an idea in mind, and hopefully I will have a better crafting day than I did with this. Okay, so here is the next technique that I tried, and again, so not successful. So this is the foam from Simon Hurley that you heat up, and then you're able to impress onto it. So you can use dies with it. You can use a 3D embossing folder. Is supposed to work well. I saw a bunch of people do this, and I don't know if I didn't heat it up long enough. There's actually 2 attempts. So the first one on the top that you're seeing me press down on it, that was the first attempt. And then I will show you actually the second attempt, because the first attempt didn't come out well. I actually turned the foam and put the foam on top of the embossing folder to press it in. So I reheated that the first time, or after the first time failed, and then I'm doing this, so this is the second time. I'm going to give you another spoiler alert. This did not work either. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the heck was going on. So we're going to put ink on top of it, and then we're going to spritz it with a little bit of water, and I'm going to do 2 pulls. So while you're watching me do that, I also wanted to talk to you about this series. So when I'm not behind, we do post every Monday and Friday at 2 p.m. We started in the end of September, and we will end in December. I'm doing this with Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations, and we picked 25 different themes, techniques, ideas, put them in a randomizer, and scheduled out the days. She and I have 2 completely different crafting styles, so you will have a ton of ideas. This is the 3rd year that we've been doing this. So after the series, you will have 75 different themes, techniques, ideas, with 150 videos. So super excited about this. This is such a fun series, and if things were not super crazy right now, it would be, it would be manageable, but when you take on too much, and I wasn't really sure. So anyway, make sure you check out Marie's video. She has a link to her, to the playlist for 2026, and also for the previous 3 years. You want to check out her stuff because she is doing a giveaway. So you want to make sure you go over and check that out. So back to the cards, I have 2 different backgrounds. I have the tree with the pine cones, and then this one is the snowflakes, the same one that we did with the blue paper. And I'm using some mica sprays and some distress oxide sprays to spray up these backgrounds. So the first one with the green, I did a little bit too much on it. With this one, I decided that I didn't do this on purpose, but it actually turned out to be kind of an ombre. I used the gray at the top, and then there was a mid-tone blue and then a darker blue at the bottom. So I wanted to add some of that gray to this, and in real life, it gives it kind of highlights, and I really, really like the way that this came out. Actually, these are my 2 successes from everything. So here they are, and you can see the sparkle and shine. And we're going to turn them into card fronts. I did not put any sentiments on this because 1, I was running out of time, and 2, I just was losing my crafty mojo, and I was just glad something finally worked out. So as you can see, not everything works out. Not every idea works for everybody. So I highly recommend that you try some of these techniques. Let me know in the comments if you guys have or are going to try these techniques, and have you been successful in any of them, and did I do something completely wrong? So give me your ideas down in the comments. I would love to read them and see what I did wrong so that I could potentially try them again. But the sprays really, really worked, and I loved it. So here are the 2 cards from today that were successful, and then I'm going to show you the fails, all of the fails that I had. Although I do like those 2, I feel like I can turn them into a background, and that is pretty if I put something over that missing area. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below, and I'll see you again real soon for another video. Bye!